Good evening and welcome everyone to the Cosmic Starseed Academy. And these are the weekly Saturday group, the weekly gatherings and Pleiadian channelings. Today's date is the 3rd of January 2026 and it is 8:23 p.m. here in Ireland. We're joined this evening by myself and Dennis Mulcahy, Diane, Christy Clark, Emily and Amara. Amira. Um, so a couple of updates. The Saturday groups is at 7 p.m. Irish time. You're welcome to come and join us. And also the Sunday Pleiadian School is at 7 p.m. Irish time as well. I've a new group starting on Wednesdays, which is all about ascension, which actually has many aspects to it, which starts on the 7th of January at 8 p.m. and it's an hour and a half, 8 p.m. Irish time. And that is specifically for people who have subscribed to the monthly Substack, which is €7, around €7. Of course, it also includes the yearly and monthly tiers. And Seth has just joined us as well. Hello, Seth. Um,
Hello.
Hello. So I've just pressed record. So if you don't want to be seen on social media, Seth, I know it's a bit late now, but if you don't want to be seen on social media, please turn your camera off.
Okay, thank you.
So Dennis will start with doing the prayers. Dennis is going to be joining us shortly.
Hello. So we will begin with the usual prayers. The first prayer as the name of the law of one prayer. I'll say it and repeat it a few times. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done, it is so. And again, we are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done, it is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. And I will share a short I am mantra or affirmation shared by the Galactic Federation of Light, who have sometimes called themselves the Federation of Bananas. Which shows how titles are not so important, perhaps.
Which is a title from Blossom Goodchild. It's not from us.
I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. All right. Thank you. And in a moment now, Soma will channel us.
We are delighted to be with you here, to be here with you this evening and reconnecting with you. This year is a powerful one of the strong horse energies and reconnecting, reigniting, readjusting. We are understating that you are in powerful times and you are the strongest of the strongest. And we include Soma when we say this because she is not without her own challenges. None of the channelers are without their own challenges. They are not gurus. They are here to learn, to change systems, to adapt, to adjust timelines, to heal ancestral lineage. You are powerful beings, much more than you know. What we are noticing with Soma and Diane is that it is not really what we are noticing with Soma and Diane is huge resistance to accept your path, to accept the truth of who you are, to step into healing yourselves, to step into healing your ancestral lineage. And that is true for so many. We are not limiting it to Soma and Diane, but we are referencing these beings because we are talking through Soma and have a deep connection to her. And she has a deeper connection than she knows to Diane and also to another. There is some deeper work to do here, to do with Atlantis, to do with ancestral healing. Edgar Casey, it may surprise some of you, was one of our channelers. We've not shared this before with Soma, so it is news to her, and it may not be news to others, but it is news to her. So let us begin with a meditation. We come through this evening with the energy of strength, of force, of fire, of horse, of eagle, of wolf, of bear, of cubs, of protection, of forcefulness, a strength, a warrior type energy. We've said before that each time we come through and bring forth a different energy. And those are some of the energies we are bringing through this evening. Strength, some of your relationships need refreshing, readjusting, reigniting, reconnecting, refreshing, regrouping, re-evaluating. We are speaking to the collective. There are many, many relationships that have fallen away over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And those that are still together now will continue. for many years to come. This is an aspect of ascension and the consciousness evolution, that these partnerships, these relationships are very deep, solid, not without challenges, but they are part of your soul contract. They are part of a very deep, embedded soul contract to help with the evolution of consciousness on your planet at the moment. These relationships are solid. These relationships are deeply connected to lifetimes on your planet and to lifetimes off your planet. We were showing Soma just now that Diane also has that Diane also has a connection to Andromedan, which is interesting because as we were saying that to Soma, we also showed her a past life connection that exists between Diane and Dennis, and also Emily, and all of you actually are connected to past lives. We wanted to talk about past lives this evening, somewhat, because it is so connected to Atlantis and the downfall of Atlantis and also Antarctica, which is connected to Atlantis. Ireland is connected to Atlantis. Atlantis was not one singular place on your planet, but it did have major cities or places or predominant areas on your planet. Ireland is a huge part of Atlantis. And if you look at, we are reminding Soma because she has forgotten, but we are reminding Soma that Emily was asking questions about this the other day or Soma was speaking about it, or we were speaking about it, of High Brazil, the island in Ireland that is off the west coast of Galway. And we are reminding her that this area, there was a previous landing in Waltham Forest or some forest in the UK, where there was a landing, and these were military people. One of the military men put their hand on the craft and was downloaded information, coordinates to do with High Brazil and the connection between High Brazil and Ireland. It is called the Emerald Isle for a reason. Which is connected to Atlantis, the Emerald Cities, the Emerald connection to Atlantis, the Emerald Island, the Emerald Isle, which island is sometimes known as. Now would be a good time for questions.
That was rendition for the 1980s in England off of a U.S. military base.
Thank you. Soma, thank you. We thank you. We want to remind you that the 6 months of this year, kind of veering off subject, but we want to remind you that the 6 months of 2026 is of the utmost importance, with huge shifts, events, situations will be occurring on your planet that may appear to be very negative, but are actually a crumbling away, a falling away of old systems, old beliefs. We are the Galactics. And we invite all of you to ask questions, especially Diane. Who Soma loves very much. And feels a lot of compassion for.
I have a question. Diane, are you ready to ask a question?
No, go ahead there. It's okay.
I'm hearing conflicting information about the med beds. Are they going to be available to humans or are they going to be withheld? Do you have any idea, please?
The med beds are an interesting subject. Thank you. They are in the hands of both the negative and the positive. They will be released by the positive, but there is a hindrance, there is a delay, there is interference from the negative agenda to do with these releasements. And some of the ones that have been or will be released are not as pure as they should be or were due to interference from the negative agendas. We hope that's not too vague.
Thank you. That helps a lot.
Well, I would say something on that would be less helpful and maybe more discouraging. I don't think that med beds are due on this planet anytime soon. It is very much a free will society, so whatever technologies are presented and new technologies will be released and new medical technologies will be released, and a lot of harmful medical procedures which are popular and promoted now will cease. But med beds are not coming soon.
Well, I heard a lady from Australia speaking about it. She has paperwork in front of her. She says that they are due to be released on April 2nd. So, but our fiduciary of the United States of America says they're not going to come at all. So I'm trying to justify those two very contrasting interpretations of what could happen with those. And so if the Pleiadians could I mean, they've already said something I find very helpful, is that there's interference, which is what I would have expected. And I'm not surprised at all that whatever, I know that there have been med beds distributed throughout the United States in the Veterans Administration hospitals and other places. And it doesn't surprise me at all that these might be substandard, so to speak, as the Pleiadians just said. So that would make it a good thing that they're not going to be accessible right away until that problem is resolved. I also heard that they can't really release them right away because they're trying to train people how to operate the med beds. Is that anything the Pleiadians can speak to?
There is a huge problem on your planet because you were invaded. We know that may sound very simple to some people, but you were invaded by a negative ET race that runs your planet, who has set systems into place on your planet, such as health, and what Soma calls the big pharma, who are not interested in healing humanity or any part of that. If you look at the emerald tablets, It describes a war between different sides. The war between light and dark that has been on your planet for so long. There is no system on your planet that is interested in humanity or health or healing yet.
Yeah, there will be release of new healing and health technologies. And some of those that will be released are not new. Rather, it is just taking away the blocks and suppressors that have been on those technologies already and is there currently. Christy Clark has an interesting little device which was developed by German scientists or Russian scientists and engineers called a pain genie, which very amazingly can relieve the pain from the body. And that is an item that is still largely suppressed, but that technology is getting out there. Med beds, which can rejuvenate people, can grow limbs, restore completely any and all organ health, will not be arriving on the planet for, I'd say, about 25 years. And so it's not just that's not just got to do with negative parties or negative galactic interference. That release has got to match the consciousness and the free will of humanity. And yes, I see people promising it. The same way I see people speaking about Jasara and everyone being wealthy and going to these centers. And these are half-truths, and half-truths are dangerous because there is going to be a new financial system. It's already in process and developing, and the old one is crashing. But this beautiful new world is going to be created by us. We are the way showers. It is going to be humans. It is going to be the reincarnated starseed, which is you and your children, that's going to usher in this magical future. It won't be given to us by others outside.
Thank you, Dennis, for your opinion. Where does your opinion come from?
Well, I am Pleiadian, as opposed to, knowing some Pleiadians. And before being Pleiadian, I was Arcturian. And before I was Arcturian, I was Andromedan. And before I was any of these, I was part of Source, and I still am. So I live with that connection.
Okay, that's very impressive. Soma, can you tell me, does Ashtar or the Pleiadian Council agree with what Dennis is saying?
Absolutely.
So 25 years before we can have any kind of...
That's not what I said.
25 years before the med bed, you said.
Before, yes.
Yeah,
These
before the
med beds,
The genuine med beds.
which do exist, are not going to be here soon. But I'm not causing despair. I understand why they won't be here.
I have a question. I feel like, well, I always want to think about the
No,
Andromedan galaxy.
no. We are in the middle of questions. So
Sorry.
please wait your turn.
So there is good news, and we are at a turn. And the medical establishment that we have at the moment is
Samara.
failing us, and it is damaging many people. And this is going to collapse and move away. And there are already existing on planet Earth much information and much technology which can make fantastic changes to people's health and well-being. And
Yes, I'm
many
sorry
do
to
not
interrupt
know
you.
this.
Yes,
And when
Dennis,
it
there
is
are.
put into practice, it will be observed or experienced by many as magical and miraculous.
Sadly,
We-
much of that technology is unaffordable right now. So, and the med beds were promised to be free to humanity. So I find this news, this interpretation of the situation, pretty distressing. Pretty distressing because I'm looking everywhere. Integrative health. What is it called? I can't even remember the name of the functional medicine. I'm looking everywhere for help and affordable help. Let me say affordable help for a situation that I've been told is inoperable. So I was, hopeful that these medbeds that are already distributed were going to be accessible soon. And your information is not very encouraging for what I'm looking at. But thank you for telling me.
The truth is that you are able to heal yourselves.
That's if we have mercury poisoning, the body can't function properly. And most of us probably do have mercury poisoning. And I know people who are detoxifying from this, but it takes years to remove all of the mercury from one system. And that's just one of the toxic substances in our systems affecting mitochondria and cellular regeneration. So the hurdles are pretty mighty and pretty real. That's all.
They are. This is also an aspect to do with how your bodies are changing into a crystalline human being. This is part of how the negative agenda is actually helping you to adjust to all the poisons and toxins and chemicals and toxicity, which is horrendous on your systems. But your bodies are changing. Your DNA is changing. You are going through huge upgrades. Do not allow yourselves to be victims, and we include Soma in this hugely with her own health issues. You are in control of your very own individual DNA, and you are able to ride the storms of toxicity, of poisons, of addictions, of chemicals, of mercury, of whatever the negative agenda is rolling out or pouring down on your skies or pouring into the water systems. They are not doing one thing alone. They are doing hundreds of things to try and stop the ascension of your planet, which is inevitable. There is nothing that you will not overcome on your planet. Nothing on your planet that you will not overcome. There's no toxicity. There's no chemicals. And if someone should pass away from an illness or a condition, or a poison, or a toxicity, or a chemical, or a disease, they will come back in the next lifetime, within your lifetime, and continue to be part of the ascension process, stronger, better able, better equipped to deal with the physicality of the poisons, of the toxins, of the disease, of the cancers, of the tumors, of the vaccines, the negative agenda has a positive part to play in ascension, has a positive, thank you, has a positive part to play in you creating your own crystalline human systems. Then we understand how this is very hard to hear for some, because there is so much trauma, there is so much poverty, there is so much addiction, there is so much negativity, disease, cancer, a whole range of things that are horrific to you and the collective.
Something that will be released soon are cures for cancer. Now, this will please many and it will anger many. And you can ask me, why will it anger many when cures for cancer are released? Because it will be found out that the effective cures that are released have existed and been known about on this planet for decades, and they have been suppressed.
The same with free energy.
But there will be very broad cures for cancers released soon. And it's not something so much new as counteracting the suppression and the lies and the tyranny that has been put on doctors and medical people who for decades have found what can cure people, and that is going to be lifted. Also later in this conversation, I'd be very interested to have Christy share his comment and have his cosmic friend Renturus speak on the matter.
And before we do that, we would like to pause there. There is work that we involving Diane and Soma that we would like to be part of and will be part of in the very near future. We would like to pause here and we would like to invite a short break and then a channeling by Christy. Was it? Recording the result. I'm sorry, I had myself on mute. So I was just saying welcome back everyone, and Christy Clark is going to be doing channeling with Renturis. So let's give him a few moments to connect him.
Greetings, dear ones. This is Renturis Volantrius. It is again a pleasure to connect with you. I have been listening to your conversation again. Quite interesting how you try to fine tune your situation on your planet. I say fine tune because there is so much playing out at this time. This discussion that you have had among yourselves was really quite interesting. Again, it is quite difficult. I see when you try to understand really how your situation is playing out on an individual basis. I say an individual basis because this one here discussed in his conversation what he felt was necessary for him to speak of. And he spoke about his connection to me and to his galactic family. And you were all in that situation. When we speak about our connection to our star family, we need to understand that there is a connection on a deeper level. Some of you are not aware, some of you are aware. Your reality continues to play out in your reality. And sometimes that is difficult because you want answers, and the answers sometimes are not available. As this one has shared, your situation on your planet is in crisis, I would say. I don't like using that word, but sometimes it's necessary for you to understand really that it is really a problem, not just for you, but for the rest of the universe. And we continue to support. I continue to support in many ways, not just through this one here, but I work closely with your planets for various situations. That is ongoing. Your planet is supported by many, but we do see really on an individual basis, as I said, really how the challenge can be quite difficult when you try to understand that the solution is not available in this moment of your time. So on a lighter note, I would like to ask you to come forward and share what is important for you. I do feel that there is questions there that would like to be asked. Maybe you feel you would like to come forward. If not, I am okay with this. I am aware it is a short channeling because the group needs to relax for some foods. Uh, mm, mm. Regarding the situation from a medical point, you do understand really there is a conflict of interest, not just within the group, but on a larger scale. We can see that the problem continues to escalate on many levels. There is many situations on your planet at this time that is causing really much illness and sickness. And there is cures for these ailments, but sadly at this time there is a plan by ones that are controlling what you call the medical system in your reality, and that continues to play out in different ways. The release of technology, as has been said in this conversation, is quite slow. It is available, okay, but it's not available to you, and that can be quite frustrating. I understand that. We understand that. Mm, mm, mm. Your governments are aware of your situation. There is technology available to you from off-world beings that have come forward to support mm, the collective on your planet in many ways. But the situation is an ongoing deep discussion. As this one has just said, he has mentioned that there had been meetings with your governments and off-world beings, and he was correct in saying that. And there was various discussions at these meetings, and one of them raised, of course, was the health and well-being of you on an individual basis. We are concerned as to how this plays out. But again, this sometimes can be difficult. Really, there is many parts of your government that continue to uh, refuse to negotiate and engage in this type of discussion. And that is just a short answer to a much bigger question. We do understand really why would this allow to play out in this way. Sometimes again that is quite difficult to understand for one who is awake and continues to see the situation to see this situation play out in this way. Sometimes it's difficult to accept really when you know that the solution can be fixed, we would say, and there's many on your planet that are quite aware of this, that are sort of in that sort of, we would say, a situation that's is aware of different technologies that come forward to cure different conditions. But again, as I say, it's quite difficult for us on this end because we have been in this situation on many times in the past, and we have come forward with ideas that would strengthen the problem, the situation that continues to be out of control in your reality from our view. And that problem continues and will continue for some time until things change on your planet. And we can't see that happening in the near future. I don't want to sound too doom and gloom, but I want you to understand that there is a situation that is playing out as we speak, and it doesn't just affect your realm, it's actually happening off your planet also. I just want to make you aware of that. For most of you, you are aware of things that are playing out on Earth. But we can tell you that this problem is happening elsewhere also, and it involves your planet and many others and many different races at this time. So, and it goes back way back a long time. It's not just something that has come to the surface in the last period of time of your incarnation. On Earth, it has been brewing for some time, and you are now in a situation where you know that these technologies are available, but they're not being released. And that is something that can be really frustrating at this time for you and for many, because a lot of the technologies that we use are so far advanced compared to what the technologies are available to you. But again, it is not that easy really to just come forward and say, listen, we have the solution. We have offered the solution on many occasions, but again, it has been turned down for various reasons, which we won't go into at this time, but we are sure you understand. But I would ask you to just sort of move your thought process, really. And it doesn't have to happen in this now moment. Be aware as to what you're creating, really, through thought. I have given this message to this one on numerous occasions. It allows them to more or less do what you call the reset. Just be aware as to what you're manifesting and what you're focusing on, really, because this can leave you sort of in a situation where you are sort of concerned, upset, annoyed. All these emotions will come forward when you know that there's something playing out at this time, and you are part of it, really, and the answers are not available to you. This can be quite difficult to accept, but again, I would say that. Being aware really as to what you're manifesting is key. And I say this so you understand. You have all been in this situation in the past, and you know by changing really your view of the outside world, really can allow you to accept what's going on inside you. Like, and this is something again that we have given this one and too many others. Again, this is something that has to be focused on, because when one changes that direction, they allow themselves to understand that there is some work I need to focus on my own well-being, and there is also these other situations that are brewing out that we have discussed. But again, I would ask you to sort of not to focus too much on those situations. It is important, I know, that you find answers and are given answers, but sometimes it's difficult to come forward. Even when we come through in this way, a lot of the time we haven't got all the answers to your problems as they play out at this time. So, yes, I would just allow you to just think of really what I've just said again. It will take you into a different situation where you are not sort of annoyed by really what you've expressed or what you've received as an answer in that sort of moment. Again, it will take you to a place of, as we would say, stillness, and allowing yourself to just sort of sit in the present and understand really what is happening from a different perspective. As this one I had explained before he went into the channeling states, he again gave you some insight. What is important, like, when you are all aware of this, you have had these discussions in the past. We have been part of those discussions also in these calls. And so, yes, that is my update to you at this time. Do you have any questions before I go? I am aware of the time for this one here.
I have a question, Christy,
Mm,
for Ranchuris. And it's just really about the year ahead. Is there anything that we need to know for the year ahead?
mm. It's very interesting that you asked this question. It's quite a common question for humans coming forward to really look for feedback as to what is happening on your planet in their situation at any given time. Again, I could sit here and try and break down the various situations on your planet that are continuing to explode in many ways, but I chose not to go there. The reason being is that I can present you with various situations that we see from our perspective that is playing out at this time on your planet. But will that safeguard you from those situations? It will give you some insight, okay, to maybe prepare yourself. But we again ask you, I ask you, just be aware as to what you're focusing on, because this can create a vibration and frequency within you. You are aware of this. And when someone comes forward with information of that kind, again, it can be sometimes difficult to digest, really, when you know that there is a possibility of a situation playing out in the near future in different parts of your planet. And we can see it, but we chose to hold back on that information. And again, I ask you to put the focus back on self, really, and allow yourself to understand that you have continued, and not just you, Soma, that have come forward with this question, but you have continued to take feedback from these type of questions and try to understand and analyze the possible outcome of all these scenarios and situations that continue to come forward on your planet in various different ways. We could sit here and talk about war in the Middle East. We could talk about war between the US and China. We could go on for the rest of the day, but we chose not to give you that information. Again, we would ask you to change the story. Quite simple. Change the story for the moment and realize what you're feeding into. Because when you feed into that idea of possibilities playing out in your reality, sometimes it's difficult to put the focus back on self. And that is the message that I bring forward, that we bring forward, that we continue to offer you. It's important that you are aware of this. These situations sometimes are out of your reach, they're out of your control, and they will continue to play out in whatever way they feel possible or whatever way they want. And we are talking about various situations that you have witnessed in the past and possible situations that are coming to you. So again, I would say that it's not really necessary to go there. Because the answer that I give you may help you understand the question that you've asked, but it would also really affect you emotionally. And that is not one of the ways that I operate when I come forward as Red Tourist. I come forward in a way that allows you to understand your greatness and the importance of you tapping into that vibration and frequency and doing it whatever way that is enjoyable for you. I had given this message to this one on numerous occasions, and I basically asked him to focus more on what was coming in from the heavens and basically to be aware as to what he was downloading from social media and from general conversations, because again, sometimes this is difficult to pull away from. Once you get caught in that web, it's difficult to pull back because one story, one situation leads to the next experience, and that can have a knock-on effect. So again, I just ask you to be aware of this, because when you can manifest the reality that you want, because you are a creator being. You have that greatness, you have that ability. So when you put your energy into that timeline, you be really interested really of the outcome. And we can assure you the outcome would be quite different to where the mindset is at this time, with the questions that you have really um, the questions that you have really for me or for anybody else. So again, just be aware, dear one, that this can have an impact. We ask you to take it, we won't say take it on a day-to-day basis, but be aware really as to where your mind is going really, and what the possible outcome of that question, that idea, that thought that has come into your awareness will be and will have on your physical well-being. Mm. Mm. Yes. I will answer a question before I go. If there is no more questions, I will leave. But I feel that there is more questions there. People within your group are just slightly hesitant at this time, and I understand this. But I can come back at a later time. There is no problem with that.
Thank you, Christy.
Mm-mm.
Debbie?
Mm.
Would anyone like to step forward and ask
Mm.
questions?
I feel silly. The only thing on my mind really is how my body's not fully functional. It has nothing to do with cancer. It has nothing to do with all the big things that everybody's talking about, and it's extremely difficult. Yes, it's extremely difficult waiting and looking for some help somewhere, something affordable, and you know. So I'm greatly disappointed about the situation with the med beds, and you know, I'm mostly very optimistic and hopeful person, so I think I put out more positive thoughts than many people do, and still I have this, chronic decrepitness. I don't really know where to go for that. Anyway, that's the source of my angst today. Thank you so much, Renteros. If you have anything to say, that would be great.
Yes, we do understand. I do understand also really your situation, and it can be quite difficult when you are living in a reality really that charges you, excuse me, that charges you a vast amount of money to cure a sickness. This is your situation on your planet, and it goes back to the discussion earlier on that you had before I came forward regarding the med beds. This is really another situation that we have, the situation that you have just brought forward, Emily. And I do hear you. I do see how difficult it is at this time to find an answer, really, an affordable answer. And I can assure you that you may have great difficulty. Well, not great difficulty. It depends really on your financial situation, and that is none of our business. But you are aware of the cost of medical care in your country and on the planet is quite expensive. Depends what part of the planet you are living. So it is difficult really to try and find a cure that is um, financially manageable in all situations, not just the situation you have brought forward. We are aware at this time, and we see how it is playing out on your planet, not just with the med beds at this time. We see how the medical system operates on your planet, and it is quite disheartening when we see really that there is so much pain and suffering on your planet, and it's all down to finances. It's all down to financial gain also by the big players that continue to operate in the background, like, and you can call them pharmaceutical companies, call them whatever. But we see how that plays out. Looking in through our lens is quite it's quite different in many ways, as has been discussed in this call and in many other calls. We have the technology. The technology has been around a long time, and we have offered technology to your medical system on your planet. But this is a situation that continues to unfold. And it was discussed only recently, as this one discussed earlier on, that there was meetings with your governments and off-world beings discussing various situations, and one of them was the medical situation on your planet regarding healthcare for the collective. So I do understand your point. I do understand how difficult it is when you try to find an answer, a solution to your problem. But sadly, it costs a lot of money to resolve it, like, and that sometimes is difficult for us really looking in, because we don't function with the monetary system in this reality. There's no use for it here. We don't need it, like, and we have a system in place that supports that situation, what you would call monetary, and we have a situation that's really abundance to all, like, so it's not a system really that we would sort of agree with, but sadly on your planet it has been in place now for a long period of time, and I don't see it changing in the near future. The monetary system will change, of course. That is happening as you speak. But your big companies, your big healthcare companies that support your healthcare and wherever else will continue to operate really, and they will continue to charge the collective on an individual basis a fee to more or less receive the care that's there. Like, yeah, so I do hear you. It is quite difficult sometimes when you can't find the answers that you want. And we, again, I won't say our hands are tied, but you are aware, and you had mentioned it yourself earlier on, that The med beds have been spoken about on your planet now for some time. And there's different stories that continue to surface that they are arriving at a particular date, they will be here at a particular day, and nothing shows up. And that can be disheartening. I do understand that really from your viewpoint. As Dennis had spoke about, like he put a time frame on the possibility of medbeds arriving to your planet. We would look at that seriously, and we would say that there is a possibility, that that time frame could change, like, and that depends really on your situations with different governments on your planet. There's various governments that are at the moment ready to accept really support from off-world beings, and there's many that are not really interested. And again, that's that divide and conquer situation that continues to play out in your reality, and it's there for a reason. Really, it's there really, and it's all there to generate finance. And you see this, and we watch it from our end, and it is quite difficult. Um, there is only so much that your star family can do and offer at this time, really. And as this one has shared in the past, we will, we will, we will come in, but we will only come in to support you. We need to make, and we have made you aware, not just on an individual basis, but we have made your governments aware that you have made basically a mess of not just the health situation on your planet, but other situations that was discussed and will continue to be discussed at different levels. And it's important to take ownership on that, and that is where the problem lies. So. We do understand, and my response to your question, I know sometimes is difficult to accept, but we again would try to support you in different ways. You are aware of how we work. We are aware that you can also tap into that possible idea of asking for support. And we see that you do. But sometimes that is difficult also because a lot of the times the answers are not there immediately and the healing is not there immediately. But it had been discussed in the call earlier on that you have potential to heal yourself. I do understand that your response to that question was interesting, that there is many situations as we see now that continues to play out, and they are from chemical poisoning or whatever else that you spoke about earlier on. Can be difficult to understand really why in this situation would your water be poisoned on your planet. That's just one sort of situation with these toxics and chemicals. So it's not easy to accept really what is playing out at this time, and it can be difficult to try and sort of, we would say, function in what you would call your reality when you know that there's no quick fix really. I can't find a solution that can sort me immediately, and I do hear you, dear one.
Thank you so much. I must take the dog out. Bye, everyone.
Yes, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
See you tomorrow, hopefully. Okay.
Okay, dear ones, I will step back now and I will allow this one to come forward. It has been a pleasure again connecting with you. As I have said, please call on Renturas Voluntrius in your quiet time, in your meditations, in your still time, and develop the relationship that this one has here with me. It is on a different level, okay, but I can send you support in various ways. You understand what I mean by this. And it is not just me, it is your star family also. So until we connect again, namaste, dear ones.
Thank you very much, Christy and Renturas, for taking the time to do that and the information that came through. Christy
No
Clark,
problem.
available for readings. Christy, I always forget your website. What is it? I'm sorry.
From connecting to stars. Connecting to stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. That was a lovely reading.
Oh, you're welcome, Diane. Mm.
I think Dennis might want to say something before we wrap it up.
Excellent. Something I will recommend to Emily, just with regards to a healing technology that is out there, and I've looked at many, and one that I would recommend. It's developed by Michael White, who's the developer of Spooky, and he has developed the Spooky system, the AHA Harmony or Halo system that came out recently, and before that he had something called the Hiwi, a healing wearable, Hiwi Microgen. Very interesting device that heals with frequencies. Software programs are free, keeps the cost down. It's about 500 euros or dollars. I think we're not recording. Oh, I didn't mean to have this recording. There we are. It's recording. I think it's very interesting device, and for what it delivers, is quite amazing. Yeah. You can buy a simple frequency generator like Calamity for 60 or 70 euros, but the Microgen has more power in it, and it bundles frequencies. It puts them into bundles, and it can deliver that whole bundle at one set to you. And there are literally now thousands of frequency bundles that one can choose to handle or help heal or cope with any kind of disease or malfunction in the body.
Thank you for sharing that, Dennis.
Fine.
So, guys, I think that we are going to call it an evening. Thank you everyone, for being part of this evening. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow or next week or whenever it is we connect again. And please like, share, subscribe to YouTube, Rumble, Substack, Facebook, all of the local suspects.
Yes, thanks to all who participated. Seth, thanks to you for being with us. You've been quiet in this session, but we'll chat in a future time, but thank you.
Thank you. I'm fumbling around. Thank you guys for having me, and I'll come again for sure. I was just taking it all in today.
Sweet. All right.
Yep. Okay, guys. Signing out for now. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Carol.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks, Dennis. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.